Well, hello, beautifuls. This is Pamela Bird, your boundaries coach. And let's talk boundaries, shall we? I cannot wait for you to meet my guest today. My guest is the most phenomenal woman, one of the most phenomenal women I've ever met. Her name is Rosalind Marie. And not only is she an entrepreneur, she's a financial wellness birthing coach. I happened to listen to one of her lives today and listen to her talking about where she was from in Trenton, New Jersey, and listening to all the old school. And her personality is completely contagious, but the wisdom on this young lady is powerful. So I cannot wait for you to hear her. She will tell you about her book that she has coming up, that she has out. And we're going to be talking about why you need a financial mentor in order to get your money right. If anybody can tell you that, it's Miss Rosalind Marie. So introducing you to Miss Rosalind Marie. Rosalind Marie, take it away.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, Pam, for having me. What an exciting time to be right now, right? So just a little bit about my background, as you mentioned already. Of course, I was born in Louisiana, boom, right? And raised in New Jersey, Trenton, New Jersey specifically, which is central Jersey, right? And I have been adulting in the ATL. And so I actually call myself a Cajun Jersey peach, okay?
A Cajun Jersey peach. I love it. I love it. See, I told you there's nothing ordinary
Listen,
about Miss Rosalind Marie.
not at all. I'm glad that you say that because, of course, in the midst of that, I'm the mom of three girls, right?
Mhm.
And one of the lessons that I've always instilled in them is be okay with being the different person. Be
Okay.
okay. Be okay with being the weird one. Be okay with sticking out and doing something that is originally for you because we are what fearfully and wonderfully made. We're not supposed
Amen.
to look like everybody. Listen, as our mentor, right? We have a mutual mentor who has made her transition, but she still be speaking. And I hear things that she says, right? Miss Alice would say stuff like, when your mom and dad came together in that cataclysmic moment, she would say stuff like that.
Right, she did.
And be like, okay, I guess my parents
Cata-
did come together to make me, and it was an amazing moment because we're here, right?
That's right. That's
And
right.
so,
Cataclysmic.
listen,
That's right.
I'll be like, well, let me look that up because I don't even know what that
It's
means.
an Aliceism.
Yes.
That's the Miss Aliceism.
But the reality is, just like Pam was talking about as a mentor, no matter what it is that you're pursuing, right? Most people could think of mentors or coaches coming from grade school, being in athletics, right? So if you want to, join the cheerleading team, the football team, the baseball team, the basketball team, so is a coach. You know what I mean? And then the coach has a team. It's a
Mhm.
head coach, assistant coach, person that helps, if somebody needs some medical support, there's an entire team that is designed to help you win. And so you can think of that concept is no different than in every area of like your life. I've
Mhm.
always believed no matter where you are, what you're doing, if you're going through a transition, a birth, a death, new career, a marriage, a divorce, a business, you need a coach. You need to hire a mentor to help guide you through this transition because it's something new.
Mhm. Mhm.
And why would you think you could do that by yourself?
You know, I, you bring up an interesting point because a lot of people look at a coach and a mentor as being exactly the same. And one of the things that I've come to understand that a coach is someone that doesn't necessarily do what you do, but can coach you through because
Mhm.
of the principles and the mindset to help you get there.
Yeah.
Now, a mentor is someone who's been through it and is going to help you through it. And when I
Mhm.
think about you, Rosalind, no matter what focus you're in your business, I know not only are you a coach, but you're also a mentor. And so your mentorship is vital to people because of the journey that you've been on in your finances, getting your finances in order. And why, which is a great time to talk about your book, because your book shows your journey. It talks
Mhm.
about your journey. It talks about the lessons that you learned. It talks about the mindset that had to be shifted in order to get to the place where you are, in order to be able to mentor other people to do that. So tell us a little bit more about your book.
Yep, I will, and I'll give you a little bit of backstory around that. So, as Pam already mentioned, right, I have a couple of titles, and the reason I have those titles is because I do have a background as a scientist. I am a scientist, so I'm a biologist by training. So I have a degree in biology because I was headed to medical school. I thought I was going, I'm ready to doctor somebody up because I was very passionate about helping people, right? And that didn't work out in that way, but I decided, what else could I do that's still health connected and people connected, but I could still use my scientific mind. And so I decided to pursue a master's degree in public health and actually behavioral science, health
Oh, I love
education.
it. I love
And
it.
so there's a mental health component to public health. Really, what it is, we analyze why people make the decisions about their health the way that they do. That is behavioral health. That's what it
Mm-hmm.
is.
Mm-hmm.
And so but you can apply that to different aspects of your life. I'm talking about health, but we talk about finances around that. And so, because I come from a mental health perspective, for me, everything is about being mindful. My YouTube channel is called Mindfully Obsessed. Y'all might want to follow that. The name of the book is called Design Your Wealth Mindset. The Design Your Wealth Mindset really talks about how you shift your thinking around your finances. My particular chapter is 5 chapters, so it's fun. It's really fun. You know how oh Lord, I don't want to give a book on It's a book on finances. No, it's a really book on life. It's about how we come up with concepts around money based on who taught us. So, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, you start with, what is your money story? Who taught you about money?
Mm.
Because who taught you about money can really keep your mind locked in that state of mind forever. Example, my father, I love him. He's still here. I can pick up the phone right now. But my father really taught me to stay away from credit.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to college, you already know you're in college, they're going to give this little 18, 19-year-old a credit card, be like, have at it. Many people ruin their credit from the college years.
Mm-hmm.
What I can
Easy
say,
money.
I
Easy
didn't.
money.
I
Mm-hmm.
didn't because I took heed to what my dad said. He was like,
Mm-hmm.
leave it alone. I don't necessarily believe in leaving it alone. I believe in using it the way that it should be used so that you can take advantage, right? There are credit cards where you can have it's cash value, or they may have travel rewards, or there may be a gas card where you get extra points around that. So you want to use it effectively. Don't run away from it. But guess what? A financial mentor can help guide you on how to use that credit effectively and to be able to increase your capacity to, whether it's to build your business, build your wealth. You can use credit to do that. But again, you have to be taught. You don't want to do willy nilly and have a credit score of 250.
Yes. It's interesting you said that, because you said you operate your financial state or your finances based on what you learned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of us, and I'm thinking and to myself, that is, you do what you're taught. I was taught nothing. So I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't taught anything about credit cards. I wasn't talked about any. I witnessed immediate gratification,
Mm-hmm.
and I was never taught anything about money, honey. When I learned about money, when I married
Okay.
my husband taught me about money, and
Nice.
I went for what? I went for 45 years
Wow.
knowing how to handle money,
Yeah.
because nobody ever taught me.
Yeah.
And so it's so important. And the one thing, because I'm a boundaries coach, I always have to bring everything that's in our lives has to do with boundaries.
Yeah.
We set boundaries every single day. When we make a decision to get up and from bed and go to the bathroom, and what bathroom we're going to go, and what we're going to do when we get there, that's a
Right.
boundary that we set. A boundary is
That's
basically,
important. That's important too.
no,
What you
but
do.
that's why we do it. But that's why we do it.
Yeah.
The good point, Rosalind, because Our finances are so important, and people
Mm,
fail to set boundaries around their finances,
for sure.
which is why they have the issues and they're wondering why they're struggling. So, I don't know, just that point what you made hit home for me because I was never taught. And
Yeah,
so that's okay if you've
right,
never been taught, but get with a mentor that can help you set
sure.
boundaries around your finances and so that you can grow them,
Right,
right?
right. That you make a valid point because, again, one of my motivations for even getting into financial services, right, I'm coming from the field of public health, and I'm like, okay, so I know everything about health. I understand, the portion of, um, you know, history because that's a good part of health. A lot
Hmm.
of times, your health is dictated because you're eating the same foods that your family's eating.
Yep.
The reason why I became a financial wellness coach is because as a birth coach, I'm coaching families towards a healthy birth experience.
Hmm.
The first thing we talk about is money because you got to pay me, baby.
Things about to change.
Let me tell you, it's
If you
business.
haven't prepared already.
Yeah, you got to sign the contract before. It's cute right now. I can laugh and joke and hee hee tee hee, but baby, this is you got to pay. And I will work with families, right? I will work with families because I've recognized that we don't value health.
Hmm.
I know that's a big one. The
So
reason why
let me
we, yeah,
let me stop you for a minute. You said we don't value health. You
yeah,
said that when you're helping them with at the time of birth. So how does that relate to having or giving birth?
okay. So, one, we're in an amazing country. That's all I'm gonna say right there. An
Yes, it
amazing
is.
country, okay. And we're supposed to have the best of the best, so they say, right? So, for the most part, many people stay on a job to get health benefits or whatever they call it. So, technically, when you get pregnant, your health benefits will cover that pregnancy and
Right,
that.
right.
Most of us don't pre-plan pregnancy and birth because if you look at your hospital bill, what they charge you to push your baby out, whether they use interventions or not, it comes up to multiple thousands of dollars. Now, there are options today where you could choose to have a home birth. I actually had a home birth, a birth center birth, and a hospital birth at three different phases of my life. So
Hmm.
you can make a choice of where you want to give birth to your body, right? But there are things that you need to do to prepare. I didn't just show up and say, I want to have a home birth. Oh, no, no, no. I had to be eating right, had to be exercising, had to make sure I had the support of midwives, I had to educate myself. I was prepared because I had helped other women and other families, other men prepare for their birth. So I had seen it already. So I'm like, oh, I know what this looks like. Even though I hadn't gone through it, I had mentors, birth mentors and
There
coaches,
you
right?
go.
In
Yeah.
the form of midwives. They were preparing me. I didn't know at the time. Once I got married and had children, I can't say that it was easy, but at least I had the knowledge base and I wasn't going into it
Mm,
blind,
blind.
being blind, right?
Right, right, right.
So within that, I understood from the beginning I needed to pay my midwife, or she would barter. Hey, if you can't afford to pay me, but what you make over there? You cook, you know how to clean, you know how to. She was a barterer. She wouldn't send anybody away. She would figure it out. Hey, you make children's books, you sew, do you paint? Do you make t-shirts? So there's still an exchange that should happen because we should never expect for somebody who is a subject matter expert to do something for free. I mean, come on, right? So there's always a financial component in the midst of that. I did not have the financial piece because I was trying to figure it out. I wish I had a me when I was coming through and I had children.
Mhm.
I wish I had a me. And that's the way I explain it to my clients. I'm like, look, you can get a life insurance on your baby at 14 days old, and you should. It's one of the most inexpensive policies you could ever get. You can also get one on your grandchild. You have to have a direct relational uh, uh, connection to that person in order to get a policy on them. But we always talk about, we have birthdays and all these other kind of things. I literally put a post out last year and told people we are no longer taking gifts for my daughter. She's 12 years old. We're no longer taking insignificant gifts that, again, she's not going to play with after 2 weeks. We are only taking monetary contributions that will either go to her future schooling, her future business, her future travel. And so people may be offended by that, but I'm okay because I'm very clear.
But I'm okay.
I'm very clear on what I am sowing into my child that was not sown into me.
Oh, Rosalind, that's a boundary. You know
Listen,
that. That's a
listen.
boundary. I love it. You made a decision on what you want for your daughter's future, what's in her best interest, and those things are going to be thrown away in a week or she's never going to use. You say 2 weeks, I say 1 week. You never know, depending on what it is, especially if
Yes,
it's an ask for it. That's something that you are investing in her.
right.
She's not going to touch it. You have decided what's going to happen because you're setting boundaries around the how you rear your child.
Mhm. Let me tell you, there's something called, when y'all get a chance, look it up. It's called $1 Million Baby.
Hmm.
Something called $1 Million Baby. And what that is you set your child up with a life insurance policy when they're born. As that policy, the cash value is the cash value. So it's a whole life policy. As that cash value grows over time, you can take that money out tax free. It's yours. So it's like you're creating your own wealth model for your children and your children's children.
So give the our audience an idea of what it would cost, what their budget would require for them to do that
They
on a
can get,
monthly basis.
they can do $50 a month.
Yep.
It's very inexpensive. We can do $25 a month. But why would you not put more in there? Because the
Hmm.
more that you put in there, the more you're going to earn, right? So say if I start with $1,000, I'm going to automatically, starting with $1,000, earn more cash value because it's a higher value.
And if you think about the money that people spend on a daily basis, weekly basis, what could they possibly give up that would allow them to budget $50 a month on
A
a,
baby shower.
yeah.
What they call them baby reveals. So you spent $1,000, $2,500 on a baby for what? For Instagram? How is that going to impact you and your family in the future? It is not. Once
Mm.
people know what it is, a boy or girl, oh, woo, they go on to the next one. They done zoom
The
past that.
pictures are gone.
Yeah.
Pictures
So
are gone.
yeah, so it's all gone. It's all temporary, and it's like, okay, but then we get to, that child gets to 16 years old, and we're trying to figure out, well, how we gonna pay for college?
Hmm. Hmm.
Had you
Hmm.
invested 16 years ago, you would have already had the money to pay for college, or buy that first car.
Yeah. There you're thinking long term versus immediate gratification. The
Absolutely.
baby shower or the baby reveal is immediate gratification. When you think about long term, then you're thinking about what they'll have when they're 16 years old, not have to struggle with.
Yeah. I was gonna say, or do a baby. You can do an event. You could do an online event. Have people donate money instead of things. You know what you need. They don't know what you need for the baby. Because in the beginning, what you need: diapers and onesies and wipes and a breast for breast milk. That's free. Baby, listen, I breastfed all three of my formula. What is that? Now I understand sometimes moms have problems and stuff, but we got solutions for that too. We gonna get people with us.
Yeah.
We gonna massage them breasts and get it done.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to know how to massage them. Got to know how to massage. And one of the things I was thinking about, I know you're talking about the budgeting and, what you want to do right off the bat when your baby's born. That is excellent. Also, do people really have an idea of what it costs on a monthly basis to raise a child? A new.
No, not at all. And today I'm like, ooh, people still having children. I give it. It's expensive. I don't give like gifts like that. I don't. I give like, I'm really significant with my gifts, and because I am a licensed agent, right? I can't necessarily say, hey, this money is for you. I can't do that. That's actually illegal, right?
Got
You
it.
can't coax someone into getting a policy. But I can educate you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can educate you so that now you understand what the benefits are. So it's not just for you. It's, God forbid, right? Black women are the third, is probably higher than that, third highest likely to succumb to pregnancy-related complications than anyone else. Right here in the state of
Wow.
Georgia, right here in the state, Black women, it's more dangerous to have a baby in a hospital right here than a third world country. Georgia's has been, when you look at March of Dimes, I'm giving you some, go look at March of Dimes. They have a report card that tells you exactly what Georgia's grade is. It's an F around preterm labor, moms going into labor early, right? Low birth weight babies, and they're all people that look like me and you.
When it comes to your finances, when it comes to budgeting, you mentioned that there are three different options that people have as far as giving birth.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that my thing is, if you're going to give birth, you should most likely do it the way that's most comfortable for you, that's best for you. And in order to do that, it's important that you plan that ahead of time, to your point, where people don't plan before pregnancy. But when they hear the statistics that you're giving,
Mm-hmm.
me, I don't know, my option would be I'd rather have people help me at my home for a home birth.
Yeah.
Now, so as soon as I get pregnant, I'm like, okay, what do I need to do to make that happen? I need to get the information. How much is it going to cost? What do I
Yeah.
need to do for myself? And those are all the things that, are so important as far as that mindset, financial mindset,
Yeah.
and setting boundaries around your finances,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna go before that because when you think about it, just think about the women in your life.
Mhm.
How many, and let's go beyond that. Let's think about the matriarch.
Mhm.
So your moms, your aunties, your grandmothers. How many of them planned their births? And some did. Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna say everybody did, but some did. You know, oops, babe, I'm pregnant. Woohoo! Yeah, I mean, so you're planning as the belly's growing. I didn't plan any of my births. I
Yes,
did not.
not planned. Yeah.
How, if I had a mentor and coach, I would have understood that it makes more sense for you to give yourself time to have some years in between your children. That's called family planning. You can do that. Now, you and the husband need to be on the same page because your plan might not match up with his plan. But that's why you need to be in communication. Because when I mentor and coach mamas, the dad is right there too. Come on, I need to teach you because you guys are together.
You're in this together.
We're together, right? I understand there's some women, a lot of married women, that have no idea what's happening with the finances. And God forbid something happens to husband.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go back historical wise because I was like, why? What is preventing us in our community from making better financial decisions with action? Not just watching a YouTube video and say, oh, that sounds good. And then you still continue to go buy the Gucci bag or the Lucci bag or whoever. Gucci, Bucci, Lucci bag. And your rent is due or your mortgage is due or your car payment is due. So you're going to juggle looking good. That's in the book too. Looking good versus living well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Really? So to me, something is going on with you when you sacrifice something outside that really has no real tangible value because over time it goes away. Cannot take it with you. Can't pass it down to children. I mean, yes, of course, you can leave memoirs, but really? I don't want no vintage Coach or whatever. I don't care. Never cared about labels. If it's not feeding my children. Now, from a financial standpoint, someone posted, this is a good one. Someone posted the other day, I call it the Droid versus the Apple War. And people really get really in their feelings about this. It's the silliest fight to me because it's like, the post said something like, the audacity of Droid users, they take so long responding or something like that. So it was supposed to be offensive, right? So you got this whole line of little silly comments. I said, God, put it down in my shana to respond. It's interesting that people are really posting stuff like this, but my real question is, do you have any stock in the company?
Exactly.
You can't because you wasted your time putting this out there. So do you even know what stock is?
This is financial mindset.
Come on.
I always tell people there's a different mindset between an employee and an entrepreneur, a business
Yeah,
owner. But finance and non-finance, the totally different mindsets on
yeah,
that. And you got to learn it in order to be able to be successful with it. You
for
just got
sure.
to you got to learn it. And that's
Yeah,
okay if you don't know it. But now is the time with Rosalind talking that you say, "You know what? This is something I need to get more information about. I need to learn. I need to be able to apply." And you
yeah,
got somebody right here that's showing you what we need to do. Hardcore that's done it, been there, done that.
right.
Rosalind, I just wanted you to kind of talk a little bit about what somebody can do now, what they can start doing. Because you got people that say, "Oh man, I had all my kids and I didn't do any of that." And I don't want them to feel bad. But
Yeah,
what can they start doing now?
yeah. Simple. Make a decision. Because that's what it starts with. You make a decision to start now. Is it something, are you a saver? If not, let's start saving. And let's be very specific on what that looks like. And I know Pam is going to understand. Get that journal out. Let's do it. Let's do a financial journal and
Mm.
put goals down. Let's be really simple. What are your top 3 financial goals for 2025? Right? We just in February. You still got time. Right? Top 3. And whatever those top 3 financial goals are, right? Do you want to save more money? Do you want to get out of debt? Are you trying to buy a house? Are you trying to buy a car? Are you just trying to make sure that you have more monthly money?
Mm-hmm.
What is
Mm-hmm.
it? Write it down. If it scares you, write it down.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
write it down. Because what happens, again, learning again, I'm hearing your mind begins to build a case for those things that you literally put a pen to. Your pen is connected to your arm, right? Your arm is connected to your shoulder, which is connected to your neck, connected to your head, your mind. Oh my gosh, when I look back at my journals and I wrote down specific goals, put a date on it. I will be out of debt by such and such. I have pulled myself out of debt a couple of times. But again, what happens, debt can be revolving, right? Remember we talked about earlier, there is a positive debt, there's also a negative debt.
Mm-hmm.
If you're using debt to build your ability to grow your business or grow your net worth, right? That's good. But debt can go against you. The same debt, because you get a credit card, and I'm looking at them interest rates is 29, 32%. That is working against you because guess what? The bank is using your money to make money off of you.
There's this flip in the mindset, ladies and gentlemen. We think that the bank is doing us a favor by holding our money and allowing us to get a loan because it's become so difficult to get a loan if you haven't prepared for it, that now you think they're doing you a favor. No, you're doing them a favor because you're giving them your money to work with. Why do you think you can't get your money back to the end of the year or to
Hmm.
the beginning of the year? What do you think the government, when in your taxes that you pay out every paycheck, what do you think that they're doing with that money? Do you
Yeah.
think they're just holding on to it in a savings account until it's time to pay it out to you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm telling you. I mean, you could look at it. Go look at your statement. You look at your credit card, and I'm telling you, and it could be a little amount, and you feel like you can never pay this off. You can never pay this, but the interest rate is so huge.
Crazy.
You only got $2,000 worth of debt, but you feel like you never won. Most people pay the minimum. A lot of people pay the minimum. You never want to do that. I would actually advise to make 2 payments at least every month. Depending on how much you have on there, there's always going to be interest. You know what I mean? And so you want to look at the billing statement. You got to look at the time when your bill is due and between the time it's actually available, because there's dates on it. It tells you on there. It tells you on the do not wait to the due date or before that. Because guess what? They're going to report to the credit card. To what's some people called the trackers.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm talking about. Them
Yep.
people, I ain't giving them no names. But they're gonna report to them as they steady watch. Oh, Rosalind to pay her bill on time. Okay, they tell you whether that credit score is gonna go up or down. And it's just like this. And it can really be an emotional roller coaster, especially if you're trying to make a big purchase like a house or a car. And so if you're trying to do that, you definitely want to make sure that credit score is high enough so you can qualify for a better rate.
Mm.
Because over time, if your credit score is too low, you're going to always pay more.
The person goes to look for a car, if their credit rating is low, they're most likely never going to walk off the lot with the car that they came to get.
Yeah, that's good. And they're going to pay for it longer than the person who has decent credit
And
because
they're going to spend a longer time there because the dealership is calling different creditors to see who's willing to take on that debt
risk.
risk.
Yeah. I'm going to say this because, again, oftentimes I'm just going to say the Black and brown community, because we've been taught to look good, where they say, I don't look like what I've been through. Or here's a concept, living like the Joneses, right? We living like the Joneses. We praising the Lord. We got our church hat on, cocked to the side with a feather in it. And we go inside and it's holes in our socks. And it's like, what is valuable to you? You have to determine what is valuable to you. Because if not, you get caught up in trying to be like, look like. IG model. And it's like, are you happy? Is there joy in there?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you living for? Because don't nobody really care. Most people care about themselves.
Yeah.
But I would say this about the car purchasing.
Mm-hmm.
Go into a wealthy neighborhood. I'm not even gonna say a Black wealthy neighborhood. I'm gonna say other wealthy neighborhood. Look at the cars that they buy. It ain't no Mercedes and Land Rovers and
no.
It's usually a Toyota or Honda. It might be a Volvo.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna do something that's gonna last. That's gonna give them value. They're gonna give quality. Because the purpose of a car is to do what? Get you from point A to
point B.
But you want to shine. You have to determine what is most important to you. You have to make a decision to make sure that you read and educate yourself. That is one of the reasons why many of the books are being get rid of, because we don't read. I mean, people don't care anyway. You don't read anyway, so why are you worried about books being taken out of schools? It's whole libraries that are just empty. It's free. You don't have to buy them. Go to the library. Free. I got a library card. It's free. You don't have to buy them. They even have like an Audible for the libraries, the local library. You can go and get.
You can rent
on CD or download them.
Don't
free.
Cost you nothing. Don't cost you nothing.
So if somebody wants something bad enough, they'll get it. If not, they won't.
You're right. It's a decision. And what I always tell my clients is you don't have a problem. You simply have a decision to make. And that decision is that you want to be at a certain place within your finances. You want to set boundaries around your finances, and you want to make your money work for you instead of you working hard for that money.
Yeah, there are some basic principles that I want to make sure that I touch on because, again, finances can be very broad. Okay, so we're talking about basics. We're talking about what is your basic financial foundation. Okay, what that means, and it looks different for different people, but what it means is typically going to be made of something as simple as your emergency fund. If your emergency comes up, who are your day one people? Most people do have folk that they can call. Some people go to GoFundMe. We finished doing GoFundMe, though. We need to do something else, right? But if something happens, there's an emergency, your loved one is hurt, somebody's in the hospital, you got to fly somewhere, you got money in your account to do that. Most people don't have $1,000 in savings in the United States. Cash, liquid, I can get access. I do, because I know people now, right? Always had it. Haven't always had it, but now I know. Guess what? When my account gets down to a certain extent, I'm like, bloop, nothing gets bought. It cannot go under a certain number. What's your number? Right?
What's your number that your account cannot go below?
Yeah. And then, so there's the low number, and then there's also a high number, right? Because it should increase. So if you saying my account can't go under $5,000, you don't want to stay there for 10 years.
Right.
Next year, add another $1,000 to it.
Right. Challenge yourself. Stretch yourself.
But please don't just leave that money in no bank account. No. please don't do that. Because they're going to make money off of you. They be like, oh yeah, come on, we want more. We're going to give you this account, that account. They're going to start giving you credit cards, all kind of stuff. We love that person. We're going to make some, because they don't know no better. So we're just going to make all the money off of them. They're going to be in Fiji somewhere, or they're sending their children to private school, and you still struggling. So it pays to educate yourself and to get yourself a mentor and a coach, which myself, I do that. I'm connected with a team of people that can do that. But again, just look it up what I'm saying. You don't even have to trust what I say. Do your research, but make sure that you're connected with somebody that's licensed, which I am. I'm certified. I can't give out. I can go to jail. I'm not going to jail for anybody. I have to take certification courses on a regular, every 2 years. I got to take them every 2 years in order to keep my license up. I can certify in any state. So wherever I have business, my family's in Louisiana, I'm certified there. Got family in Texas, I'm certified there. I'm licensed there. Got friends in Jersey, I'm licensed there. So wherever you need support across the U.S., I can work with you. I actually work with people in Canada now too. We expand to Canada. So, so it's not just one pot. That financial foundation, as I mentioned, emergency fund. What does your debt look like? Okay. What is your protection? So as you're building that wealth, are you protecting your money? Is your money in the right places so that it can earn? The same way that credit card earns, your money can earn the same way.
So it's about investing versus spending.
Absolutely. Some of it is saving. Some of it is investing, right? Some of it is putting it away. You want to put it in what they call tax advantage account. People put their money in a 401k and think, oh, I'm good. Are you sure? No. Do you know that when you get ready to pull that out, they're going to tax you? They're going to tax you at the rate that you pull it out. So if you're not going to pull it out for 10 more years, where are we at? 2025. So 2035 tax rate. Question, Pam, do you think it's going to stay the same, or do you think it's going to go up?
Probably go up.
It's definitely going to go up.
And I'm not going to bank. I'm not going to take a risk on that.
Why would you do that? I'm not saying don't do a 401k. I'm saying you need to not put all your eggs in one basket. You need to that's what they mean when they say
diversify. Yeah, and don't count on your employer. Another thing about that, your employer will invest that money in your 401k and it's in stocks. It goes up and down. Why not you decide where your money's invested instead of your employer? Because your employer is doing for a lump mass of people, right?
Yeah.
Don't they? They just they decide what they want to do with it, and they put everybody in the same thing.
They get perks too.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
That's why you get a benefits package, because they're getting something from that.
Right. So that whole mindset is something that needs to be learned. They need to be educated on that. So I just got one question for you before another question I have at the end. And that is, how did you get to where you are right now? You've got a lot of information. You've been through a lot. Where were you at the time, and what motivated you to get to the point where you are right now?
Can I just be transparent? Because it's time to be transparent.
Please.
I was a single mom, which I never planned for, as I was married, right? Single mom of 2 children. Ended up having a 3rd child 10 years later. Still single mom because it didn't work out with her father. And I ended up homeless, Pam. No place to live. Like, with degrees in hand and children and no support. I don't have family in Georgia. I didn't have somebody there. Now my mom was like, come on back home. And I was like, because I don't want to raise my children in New Jersey. So, I mean, that's where I was. Rock bottom. And it's like, I never thought that I would stay there though, because I did have a very strong mindset, and I had been trained to put myself in a better position. I had been trained that just because that's your current circumstances, that does not define you. You don't have to stay there. Like, I always was like, okay, girl, this is temporary. Okay, we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. And we got through it. And even in that homeless state, because I wasn't living on the street, right? There were shelters that were involved. God still used me. In that homeless shelter, guess who was the person that was the birth coach for the homeless moms that were pregnant? I mean, listen, Linda. They say, listen, Linda. When I look back at it now, that is my testimony that even I'm thinking oh Lord, I'm embarrassed. You know, because we're embarrassed to share that kind of stuff. Got these 2 degrees in here. People think you know it all. And life was not lifing. It was after that market crash. 2008, after that, could never get on my feet, couldn't find full-time work. So I was piecemealing this job, that job, this job. So finally got to the point where I did have income coming in. The homeless shelter saved my life because I didn't have no bills. But I was working. So if I didn't have no bills, I understood how to grow I got out of debt. I saved everything. I didn't have no car payment. I didn't have no home payment. And I was doing something I love. I was still supporting women in birth and labor that needed my support. Like, what? Where they do that at? So I determined by the time I get out of here, now I could use that as a testimony, because that's what. Now I can stand beside other men, women, and children and equip them with the tools so that they don't have to go through what I went through. I can encourage them to shift their mindset, design their wealth mindset. Just because you came from a poverty-stricken community doesn't mean you have to stay there. You can get out. Mm-hmm. It is a decision. It is a mindset, but you got to get around the right people. You can't do this thing by yourself. You can't. Get someone that can help you. I would love to be that person if somebody is interested. But get the book. Just start there. Get the book. If it makes sense to you, there's contact information in there. But, you know, this is hard to do by yourself.
I told y'all, this woman was powerful. What you're going to leave with today, the wisdom and the experience. And that's exactly why I wanted to differentiate talk about the difference between a coach and a mentor, because Rosalind has been through it.
Yeah.
Her testimony just right there shows you that she's been through it, and she dug her way out with her 3 girls.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I want to put a challenge out there. I'm going to put a challenge. If you're listening to this and this has made an impact to you, I challenge you, if you don't do any reading at all, that you read Rosalind's book. And I'm going to be putting the link in there, and you get that book, and then you come back to me or Rosalind, because you'll have her information, and tell her or me what it is that you learned and what you're willing to do. You ready to put your feet to the fire? Then Rosalind is the person that you need to talk to help you to get there. And I would recommend that you do the thing that she said. Write down, what does it say in the Bible? Write down your vision and make it plain, right? Write it on tablets. You got to take it out, what she said, from the hand down through the arm, through the head, everything to do the action. It's not going to happen if you don't do that. Make a decision. You're going to challenge yourself on what the 3 things, the goals financial goals you have for the rest of the end of this year. And then read that book. And I don't want to say I guarantee, but I promise you, if you do the things and you work with Rosalind, let her coach and mentor you through that, because everybody's different. We gave scenarios here, right? These scenarios are specific for a person. It's general what we shared, but it's specific if it's your situation. So you got to talk to someone. Rosalind will talk to you specifically about your situation. And does this look like a lady that's going to beat you up for what you're doing? Not at all. She's so real, and she's going to help you because she's been there because her goal is, what did she say in the beginning? To help people. To get people to where they want to go. And so I'm going to tell you, if you're going to take that challenge, go ahead and put in the comments, I take that challenge, and order that book, and you can get in touch with Rosalind and let her know where you go from there.
Sure. Pam, I know you're going to put it in the chat, but I also want to let people know we are Amazon bestsellers, so you can get Amazon, and
the sign will get there.
Yeah, you can find it. But it has a workbook too. It has a workbook, so we walk you through the steps. You have the ability to walk through those steps. You have a workbook that comes with it and a book that comes with it.
And this is good, because those of you who are saying that they commit to self-care, there's no better self-care than taking care of your finances. Because your finances will determine what other self-care you're able to have.
Absolutely.
Right. I just want you to talk to Rosalind, because Rosalind's going to help you. Rosalind, thank you.
Yeah. Can I leave some parting words?
I was going to say, do you have any parting words for us today?
yeah, I just want to tell people to be gentle with yourself, right?
Mm.
Um, I just want to know, let people know it's okay. Sometimes we're afraid to get help because we're embarrassed. And I just want you to, they say, put your big girl panties on, put your big girl draw, put your big boy drawers on.
That's an
And
Aliceism.
yes, yes, and recognize that I guarantee there's so many other people that are in the same boat. But if you want to get out the boat, if you want to get out the boat and stop sinking, right, get help. And you can find me. I'm on YouTube. Mindfully Obsessed is my channel. We would love to have you. I have lots of content up there and more content coming. Find us on Amazon. Pam is going to share the links. Pam, this was awesome. And, all you have is one day at a time.
Mhm.
So, whatever those top 3 financial goals are, let's start there.
Yep.
And we will have some additional workshops. There's some workshops that are coming up with
Mhm.
my team and I. We're going to be talking about some of the concepts that are in the book. And we just want, we want you to be easy as far as your finances are concerned and find joy. Because it'd be joy. So it's not always money, money, money. We're going with it.
Right.
No, you want to create joy in your finances. And this is
Mhm.
one way to do it by shifting your mindset about money.
Thank you for sharing that. And there is such a peace and such joy that comes knowing that your money is working for you. Well, thank you again, Rosalind Marie. Again, all the information will be listed here. In the meantime, please make sure you take on the challenge, write down those goals, and we would love to hear from you and know what Rosalind said, that you're okay, you're good where you are, but let's start from where we are right now and make 2025 and beyond the best years ever and get some more of that peace. Get some more of that peace and joy like Rosalind has. Thank you, Rosalind Marie, for being a part of Let's Talk Boundaries today. And for all of you, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because wouldn't you hate it if you missed one of our podcast episodes, because it might be just what you needed to hear. So until next time, this is Pamela Bird, your boundaries coach, and let's talk boundaries, shall we?